together he was ahead of me, and I found out that he was in for driving with a suspended license while on parole after assaulting his father in a convalescence home over a drug dispute. Bullshit charge. So that was the first story. Next person up is that woman I told you about who has traveled the world with the State Department. Please put your hands together for her. It's also her birthday coming up. So happy birthday. And she has three names. Susan Sims-Fletcher.
Second tallest. All right, let's see. What do you think? So, I had 38 hours to have my birthday wish come true, to usher in a decade of decadence. I wanted booze, buffets, and bad taste. Destination? Las Vegas. My significant other, who was significantly younger than me, lived in LA and I lived back east. And so I flew into LAX, and from there we were going to drive to Sin City. As we came up to the city, I could see our destination, the pyramid that was the Luxor Hotel and Casino, with laser beams shooting out of it. It was amazing. I mean, it's the most exciting thing this side of the Nile that you can get to Egypt. As we checked in, we had the Sphinx on one side and some King Tut people on this side, and a red velvet lounge over to the side. We had a very busy day the next day to make sure we accomplished all my tasks, so we just had one drink with the lounge singer and off to bed. In the morning, the first thing on our agenda was a champagne breakfast in bed. 2 little splits came with plastic champagne glasses. It was really nice. Off we went next to the Liberace Museum. Many of you probably didn't even know there was a Liberace Museum, but jewels, sequins, rhinestones, I was in heaven. There were capes, there were Cadillacs, and in the gift store, coffee mugs, commemorative coffee mugs. I got a travel mug that was purple with a candelabra on the outside. I'm very proud. Okay, back. We're on a mission here. I'm back to the casino. I had them count out very carefully my $100 in chips, and I went to the $2 roulette table. I figured lots of free drinks and, $100 I could lose it. But no, with Lucky Lee, Mr. Showmanship on one side, and 3 free drinks, I came out a winner. Lucky 18 came up, I was $28 ahead, and it was time for the evening portion of our day. We were going off to, not visions of sugar plums, but visions of steam tables filled with potatoes of every dimension, chicken in every kind of sauce, carving tables, taco stations, creperies, wood-baked pizzas, the $17 buffet, and we had a Players Club $5 discount. So off we go. We're standing in line for this amazing food, and we started making friends with the people in front. I'm rather chatty, as you might have guessed. And there it seemed like a nice couple. It was Janelle and Keith, and Janelle was a student. Keith said he was in the industry, and he wore a black jacket and a black T-shirt. Who am I to, argue with that? She had on this shimmering silver cat suit. And Janelle had some work done, if you know what I mean. This catsuit didn't look out of place. I mean, we were in Las Vegas, and actually, as you already heard, I'm second tallest here tonight. I'm 6 feet tall. I had on a little black dress that was far too short, and what I like to call hooker heels. So I was about 6'5" that night, and my significant other, the boy, is about 6'7", so we were quite a couple. So we're having a great time with Janelle and Keith sitting. I'm stuffing myself with stuffing and olives and red beet eggs and, oh my goodness, pies, apple pie, chocolate pie, lemon meringue pie. I figured I got to try each one, even if it was just a bite. And then there was chocolate cake and the bottomless Diet Coke to go with it. We made arrangements to meet later on. We each had plans. They were off to Siegfried and Roy, and we were off to the Rio so that I could get a giant cauldron of dry ice foaming booze fabulousness and see the skyline of Vegas. So we were meeting later on at Club 54 in the MGM Grand, Studio 54. So we get there. It is everything I could have wanted. Disco ball, lit dance floor, beams shooting across, as well as the Weekend Warriors. You know, all the people on their anniversaries, getting married, 40th birthday parties, bachelor parties, in too tighted dresses, too shorted dresses, more sequins than you could shake a stick at, men with their shirts buttoned down to here with big belt buckles and eyeshadow. Oh, I was in heaven, and we were right there in the middle of them. We got up on the dance floor, and we were dancing to, Love Shack and Bringing Down the House and Saturday Night, S-A-T-Y. Anyway, Keith didn't hang with us that long. He sat around the edge of the stage was a bar. And so he went down there. He didn't really want to be up there with us, but he had an open tab, so we were happy because we were just drinking and drinking. And he was sort of watching us. He was watching us rather intently, actually. And we're having a great time. YMCA. And all of our friends. And I'm not quite sure where this came from, but suddenly we had the best prop. This reject from a Howard Stern Halloween costume, a long, black, shaggy wig. It didn't belong to a body, it was just there. And it was going around, we're dancing with it, it's on and off each of us like a dirty hooker, and we're just having a great time. So Keith sort of indicates, we can tell that he's ready to go. So we go down to talk to him, and he goes, look, I'm leaving, I'm done. And you, Janelle, can stay or go as you like. And we thought this was a little abrupt, but we don't care, he's buying the drinks. And so we made sort of false promises to get together for the buffet, for brunch the next morning. Janelle said no, she'd go, and off they toddled. We danced like one more time, and then we looked at our watches, and we're like, it was 3 o'clock in the morning, and we had an 11 o'clock checkout. And so we went back to our rooms too. In the morning, we were waiting for our car at the front, again by some big scarab or something like that, and the gold. And as we're waiting for the car to come, we noticed Janelle coming running towards us, and she looked really distraught. And she caught up to us, she was out of breath, and she says, oh my goodness, I'm so glad I saw you. We're like, what's wrong? And she goes, oh, things went just really terrible last night. Well, what happened? She goes, I don't know, we had a big fight, and Keith, he checked out, he went home. We're like, what are you gonna do? She goes, well, the room is paid for another 2 nights, and I thought maybe you guys were staying longer. I don't wanna stay here by myself. And we're like, well, we're just waiting for our car, but what are you gonna do? Are you guys gonna break up? I mean, are you okay? And as we said this, her very distraught face started to brighten. And then she smiled, and then she sort of suppressed a chuckle. And she said, break up? We're not together. He won me on a basketball bet for the weekend. I was working. And we looked at each other, and we looked at her, and we looked at her, each other again, and with movie script timing, our car pulled up. And we're like, we have to go. And she hugged him goodbye, she hugged me goodbye and said, happy birthday. And then she whispered in my ear, open this later when you're alone. And she pressed an envelope into my hand. So the next day I'm back at LAX waiting to fly back east, and I rediscover the envelope in my pocket. And on the outside it says deliver to Susie. I open it up, and inside is a business card. Keith was in fact a big deal movie producer, director, and writer. And on the back of the card it said, Susie, I think we had a really good connection. I'd like to take you to dinner. Call me, Keith. A couple of weeks later, I was in the airport again, flying to dinner. This time I was pretty sure it wasn't going to be a buffet.
Sims-Fletcher.
Or Sims-Fletcher.
Wow, I just had an idea for an additional prize for the winners tonight.